Satan went from being a beautiful angel of God's creation to a serpent, the cunning and the loathsome reptile that we all know about. On the other hand, we have an interesting parallel to him in the book of Numbers. And the people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loathes this worthless bread." They're complaining about getting free bread. So the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he take away the serpents from us." So Moses prayed for the people. Remember what I said earlier? When things are going good, we just complain and we grumble, we find fault in God. But when things go bad, we start to call on the name of the Lord. Perfect pattern right here. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live." So Moses made a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. And so it was, if a serpent had bitten anyone, when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived. And Moses, in John chapter 3, we read what this bronze serpent symbolized. Jesus himself explains it to us. "And Moses lifted up the serpent, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life." When they looked at that bronze serpent in the wilderness, it wasn't the bronze serpent that saved them from the poison of the serpent that had bitten them. It was faith that God's promise stood, that if you look at this, you will be saved. And Jesus is saying the same thing. I am going to be lifted up, and when I am lifted up, if you believe in me, you will be saved. And we know the next verse, Genesis 3:16, is the text verse of the Bible. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life." One other time that this particular bronze serpent is mentioned is in the book of 2 Kings. And there we see how it degraded into an idol and also what its name was. Here's what it says in 2 Kings. "He removed the high places and broke the sacred pillars, cut down the wooden image, and broke in pieces the bronze serpent that Moses had made." This is hundreds of years later, and this king actually broke this piece of antiquity from Israel's history because they were idolizing it. "For until those days, the children of Israel burned incense to it and called it Nehushtan." One important lesson here is that even God's mode of saving can become an idol. When we look to the cross, we need to remember this. It is only a symbol of the greater work of the person of Jesus Christ, and not a